everyone, it's me, Miss Annika, and I'm here to talk about the STEM kit that we're doing this week. So this week, we're going to make a sundial, which is a way of telling time when you're outside and you don't have a watch or a clock in front of you. So let's see what you're gonna have in your kit, and we'll start by having our direction sheet. And so the supplies that you should have in your kit, besides your direction sheet, are 2 rocks, like these. A piece of chalk, should be a piece of white chalk like this, and then 2 straws. And then from home, first of all, from your house, you need some tape. I would recommend duct tape, but any tape is completely fine. Mine is yellow, like a duck. And then you also will need to have a nice flat surface to make this on, and it should be outside, and you'll need a sunny day. So I'm filming inside right now, but I have a picture at the end that I'll show you of a sundial I made earlier that was outside, so you can see what it's going to look like. But for now, we're going to talk about how we make our sundial, and then we'll talk about why it works. So first, I'm going to pull the camera down so that you can see my hands. So first, we're just going to take our 2 straws and line them up together like this. And then we're going to take a piece of tape, either the tape that you're using or I just grabbed some clear tape. And we're just going to stick them together just to make it taller. And they might bend a little bit, so you might need to add a second piece of tape. I'm actually going to do that just to make it a little stronger. And you want it to be nice and straight, standing up. So once you have your sundial center, this is going to turn, and when you find the flat surface outside, you're going to take this wherever that surface is and stick it straight up in the middle, just like this. And I'll pull the camera back up so you can see in front of my face. And so once you have this on your surface, you're going to go ahead and tape it down so that you can have it standing straight up without your hands holding onto it. And I made another one earlier. So this is mine with its tape center to keep it held up straight. So I'm just going to stick it down, and it's a little crooked. So I'm going to stick it down like that so it should stand straight up, and it's very tall, so it's right in front of my face. All right, and then because it's a sunny day outside, the next thing that you're going to do is watch and see how the sun hits it and where the shadow from this stick is. And so since we're inside, I can still do an example. So I'm actually going to turn my direction paper upside down so that you can see it. And I have a handy flashlight here. And if I shine the light onto the stick, or our straws in front of us, you can actually see on the piece of paper the shadow that's moving. And so if I just hold it right here and say, let's say that my shadow is right here, I'm going to take one of my rocks and place it down here. And so that's where my shadow is standing when I start it. And I recommended on the direction sheet that you start this project at 12 p.m. And so you'll take your chalk and make a mark that says what time it was when you started. And so at 12 p.m. for our example inside, our shadow is pointing here. And as we go through the day, you can go ahead and make marks at the different parts of the shadow. So let's say that I moved it a little bit and you can see the shadow line right here. That shadow is now 1 p.m. And then the next hour, your shadow will be somewhere else and you can mark that as 2 p.m. And when we use our other rock that we have, I suggest marking this one right across from 12 p.m. at 12 a.m. And you can use that label as well, and that's what our chalk is for. And then in the middle, because we're doing this outside on the ground, you can make chalk marks wherever the shadow is falling. And so by the end of the day, you should have a mapped out area of a clock for your afternoon. Tomorrow morning, once the sun rises again, you'll be able to put lines out for the rest of the day, and you'll be able to see where the sun would fall on your dial during the daylight. So, move this out of the way. So what's the point of a sundial? It's basically a 24-hour clock. So It's a 24-hour clock because it goes in a circle, and if we had sunlight all 24 hours of the day, we would be able to tell what time it was all the time. For most of us, we would use a 24-hour clock or a sundial just for the daytime. And that is that at every single hour that there's daylight, we can tell what time it is just by having our stick on the ground and the sun shining in the air. So it doesn't work when it's raining, but it does work when it's sunny outside. And you can come back, if you leave it up, you can come back and check your sundial every day. And even if you take away the rocks and you have your labels for where they are, you should be able to tell what time it is at any point in the day. So why does this work? Why does the sun's shadow move around and let us tell time with it by putting our straws on the ground and looking at its shadow? So each day, our Earth, let's see where we are. So we're just around here and in New Jersey, and every single day, the whole Earth makes one rotation, going back around, one full rotation till we stopped exactly at the same point. And that rotation is a whole day. So the Earth spins once a day around like this on a point where my finger is that could be called the axis. And as the Earth spins, we can't feel it, but we can see it because the sun moves to different places while the Earth is spinning. And so the sun's not stationary, but it's a lot slower than the Earth spinning around is. And so we're able to track how the Earth is moving throughout the day because of where the sun is. And because the Earth rotates every 24 hours, and there are 24 hours in the day, that means that the sun, when it's daytime out, will be at a different position for every hour, and we can mark the time. And it'll basically always be the same position. And even when it's raining and we can't see the sun because the clouds are in the way, we still know that the sun would be in the same position and would be able to tell time that way. And so some people have real sundials that are made of metal and bigger and not a straw put together, and they can go outside and look at it every day and know what time it was without a watch. So it's just a fun way of looking at how the Earth rotates when we can't feel it, but also being able to tell time even though we don't see the numbers. So that's our STEM kit for this week. Thank you so much for having so much fun with me. I'm really excited to see all of your new clocks and new outside sundials and see what you make of them and have fun. Thank you so much. Bye.